Well, hey everybody, welcome back. Good to see you this week. Hey, I've got just a trick for you today. If you have ever been trying to assemble something like a box, it doesn't really matter what it is, and you're putting different boards together. I'll just use a box in this example. I've got just a trick for you to not get confused when you're getting ready to reassemble everything after you've been working on it. So stick around to find out a cool trick I learned recently, and it's awesome. It's a game changer for me. So stick around to find out. You'll be able to see that coming up in just a second. Okay, so recently I took a class at Lost Art Press, which is Chris Schwartz's storefront in Covington, Kentucky. And during the class, Megan Fitzpatrick was teaching the class and Chris was assisting, and it was really awesome. But the technique I learned is called a cabinet maker's triangle. And there's a French version by Roubaud. It's a way in which you can mark your work so that when you are assembling it, you don't get confused on what boards go together. So this could be used for so many things. It could be used for bookcases, for a dovetail box, for really anything that you're assembling. And for me, I've tried different things up to now, like numbers and letters and marking corners with corresponding different numbers, letters, or symbols or something like that. And this takes all the guesswork out. It makes it almost impossible to mess something up. So I'm going to show that to you right now. But again, I learned this from the folks at Lost Art Press, and it's been a game changer. And man, I'm really glowing like I'm around a campfire. These lights are horrible. I apologize for that. Hopefully pretty soon I'll be getting better lights. I want them. Trust me, I want them. It's a budget thing. But for now, hey, hopefully this is satisfactory. I'm going to show you this cool trick. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to do this the best that I can for you, but right here I have two scrap pieces of wood, and then I have two more right here. And so what I'm going to do is pretend that these two pieces right here are the outsides of a box, so they would be like this, parallel. And these two pieces here would be the end. So there would be one end here, and then one piece would be on the other end. But for now, we'll start with these two. So what you do is you just line them up so that you know you've already done your board selection. You know which face you want to be on the outside and inside of your pieces. So in this case, I've decided just with these scrap boards, it doesn't matter. I've decided that on this piece here, this is going to be the outside of my box, and this is going to be the outside. And these faces that are facing each other are the inside pieces right here. So all you do is you make this mark, which is called, again, a cabinet maker's triangle, and it's really simple. You just make an arrow, basically you make a triangle. Sometimes your pencil wants to follow the grain of the wood, and then you loop around, and you loop around like that. So I'll darken that up for you in a second, but let me go ahead and do that now. Well, actually, let me do one other step. So I've marked these two pieces with the triangle, and I'll explain that in a minute, what that's going to do. Now these two pieces are going to be my ends of my box that I'm making, my fake box here for this example. So I've decided again which ones I want to be on the outside. So this will be my outside face, this will be my outside face, and these are my inside faces. And since I want this to be my outside face, what I'm going to do is draw another cabinet maker's triangle. And you can see that right there. Now, what we can do after we go and we do everything we want to do, the boards, and we cut dovetails, and we plane it, and this and that, now we know how to put things back together easily, because all we have to do is line the marks back up. So we always know if these two boards are separated, we just need to orient them so they line back up like that. Let's take these other two boards. These are the sides. Once I separate them, I can do my work, and then I bring them back together, and they make the triangle. And I know that this is always my inside, this is always my inside, always my outsides. I know where everything's at. So let's go ahead and say, this is kind of hard to do with the angle that I have, but you'll get where I'm going with this. So let's say I've got all my pieces mixed up. I've got them back. Let me do something real quick. Let me darken this for you so you can see it on camera better. So let me do that real quick. And look, my triangle is not pretty like it would be if it was on paper because it followed the grain. So don't worry about being pretty. Now on a real project, I wouldn't mark with a Marks-a-Lot. I'm just doing that so you can see better. So now you can see when it's together, that's where the board's supposed to be oriented. With the arrow going that way, they're together. And they're apart, you can see that. So let me go ahead and darken the other marriage mark. Again, this is, if I didn't mention it, this is also called a marriage mark by some, marriage marks. So like it's married together and they're marked. Pretty simple concept. I'm going to go ahead and darken this one for you too. And there we have that. I wish I had a little bit wider angle to get this in a better focus for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these pieces of boards as if they're my box. Okay, so if these were laid out actually like a box, now you can see my front arrow is up here. This arrow is facing this way. This arrow is facing this way. And then down here at the far end, I have the bottom of the arrow for my other end piece, and again you can still tell that it's facing that way. So in other words, you can always figure out which way your boards are supposed to be oriented, which way they're supposed to go, and you never get mixed up. It's a fantastic system, it's super easy to remember, and I love it. Now, one thing I do want to mention is sometimes people, it really doesn't matter, whatever works for you is best. So it's not like there's some hard and fast rule about how you do this. I'm brand new to that, Mark. I just really like it. I thought it was handy, but some people just make just a simple triangle like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. The only issue that I could think of that you might run into, let me do it on here again. The only issue you may run into is, let me see if I can line this up. It's a little caught up there. If you were to just draw a straight up triangle, and I know that might be kind of hard to see for you, I'll go ahead and put it to the camera. If you were just to do that, that is perfectly fine. But I could see where maybe if a piece got separated and you did something to one of them, and maybe, let's say you could only see that little section right there, it may not really indicate which way the triangle is pointing. It may look like it's pointing this way down here. You know, it could be, in other words, just maybe in certain situations you could get confused on where the triangle is pointing. That won't happen with the French cabinet maker's triangle, as they call it, because you never mistake the corners here because they're loops. You just won't mistake them. So anyway, that is the trick. Alrighty. Man, the lighting in here is just driving me crazy. Sorry about that. I'm looking around. It's just so shadowy with my hat. And anyways, I apologize. It is what it is for now, and it'll get better, I promise. So stick around. Don't let that drive you away. But I just wanted to let you know that is the trick. And I was so excited to find out how to do something better than what I've been doing, because I've put together a couple dovetail projects, and I'm not really great at dovetails yet, but I've put a bunch of them, or a couple of them together, and I've actually joined them wrong. And after I did all that work, I glued them up, and I kind of made them go into place when I shouldn't. And then I was like, man, that's why, because I put the wrong corner together. This makes it virtually impossible to do that. So I hope you like the trick of the marriage marks or the cabinet maker's triangle. You can call it either one. It works great. So if you put something together and you use it, let me know. I hope it helps you. And hopefully next week we'll be back with a project. I know I haven't given you a project for a couple weeks. It's been really crazy around my household and with my infant son and all my other kids. It's been a bit chaotic, but life is good. And I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, would you please hit the subscribe button below? I would appreciate that, and share it with your friends. And until next time, always remember what I think life's most important order is: love God, love each other, and woodwork. Woodwork. We'll see you next time. Take care. God bless.